And maybe some other people have been asking me questions about how deeply do I believe what I do with the winter weather. Well, you know, honestly, I have as much impact on the winter weather as that wizard and his girlfriend did on a ranunculus race, which was basically crap. Nothing really. It's not really so much importance of how much work you do. It's what gives you something to do.
You're a fucking fraud. I'm never coming to you for the weather again. You're just a fucking liar.
Who's this?
My name's Pete. I used to come and get the weather from you, but fuck that. You're a fucking liar.
Well, you know, I don't really think I consider it much of a lie.
No, you duped everyone. You lied to everyone. This is going to be big time. I'm going to make sure you end up on the news.
Okay,
You're going to get exposed. You hand out your little business cards saying that you're the North American snow.
All right.
You're the North American snow goof. You can't do nothing.
Okay, well, that's not the point. Okay, the whole point was, like I said...
That is the point. The point is that you're a liar. You're just trying to change the point so that you can get off the hot seat.
Just stop for a second. Can I speak? Okay, first of all, what was it I said on the way in? I said, it's not so much that I can do much, it's something that gave me something to do, okay, which is what I said, which is true. You have to remember
then that's fine, but then you went around and lied to everyone. You said that you could manipulate the weather and that you're a snow queen.
Actually,
you're full of crap. I looked into the snow queen and there is no snow queen. In fact, there's a North American snow king. He was coronated in 2015 and everybody knows it.
Well, yes, I was right. I was coronized.
No, you were no.
All right, wait.
You're not a snow king. You keep saying you're the snow queen, but when you actually look it up, there's a real North American snow king. He's a male, and he was coronated in 2015. So you're full of crap.
All right,
you're just a phony. You're copying people. You're a copycat.
Excuse
you're a
me.
phony copycat.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, I was crowned long before he was, and then say there couldn't be more than one person. I never said that. Okay?
Father Yahweh and Mother Ozma say so. There's only one North American weather controller for the snow season. Everybody knows that.
Okay,
and you're full of crap. I'm gonna find the real North American snow king. I'm gonna have him call you so that he can call you out for your bull crap because you're going around town and handing out the stupid flyers for everybody to get the weather from you. That's bullshit.
Okay, well, first there is getting weather forecasts. Me, that is based on scientific studies. That's
you gave me a card at the soup kitchen, and you told me in person in front of everybody else. And you know what? Sandy was there, and I'll have her next time you're at the soup kitchen. We'll come and confront you because you told us right there in front of everyone that you changed the weather, that you're the one that makes it snow and stuff, and that's bullcrap. Because you're not. You're just copying the real person that does it. You're
all right. Well, am I allowed to?
Away.
Can I speak now? In my defense, it would help if you listen to what Michele's trying to say. Michele really did feel that she had control, but then as she'd been doing the job long enough, she realized that her ability was so limited, she could barely do anything serious. Everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Today, we're going to talk about some of the stuff that I said yesterday. And I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. And I took some of your advice, and I tried to talk to my case manager about it as well. And so, let's see how we can start. Let's get started with the basic fact. As you saw at the beginning, I mentioned that I haven't actually been doing weather manipulation. I have not been doing weather manipulation now for several years. 2015 was the last time I was doing active workings. And if you noticed that for the majority of the time, I have not even mentioned doing any weather manipulation because I've been kind of slacking on my job. And so, of course, I said a comment yesterday that some people took offense to. And I think I need to clarify that comment. Now, is this the apology that Out on the Water wants? Well, no, not really. It's just a clarification. I am still technically the North American Snow Queen. That I am still. But remember one thing. The North American Snow Queen, the title, is an honorific. It's not my real title. Okay? That's most important part. I want to make sure you understand. The North American Snow Queen, as I said, is an honorific title. It basically is in tribute to Hans Christian Andersen. My official title is Weather Steward of the North American and Southwestern Greenland continents. Okay? That's my official title. Since 2015, I have done very little workings at all because I've been having a lot of personal issues that I mentioned in a video in 2015 about how I lost the Section 8 because my landlord lost his temper and they won't put him back in the Section 8 program. So I have been paying full rent since 2015. Now, that was a lot of stress and a lot of emotional baggage that resulted in me just losing my mojo, losing my desire to do anything. Now, one of the things that me and my case manager discussed is because it is an external factor that cannot easily be resolved due to the fact that I do not have transportation, enough money to pay for a new apartment, and in order to get onto the Section 8 program, I'd have to find another landlord. In addition to that, the state of Connecticut has been become very unsupportive, as a lot of programs that would have been available have been discontinued or cut back. So, that means that, like I said, it's not that I can do very much, it's just that I love what I do. Okay, that's what I said. Let me tell you what Mother told me. She said, one of the most sad things is that you have basically fallen behind in doing your job. By your lack of action, you're not Snow Queen material, really. But I know why. But you are still the North American Snow Queen for now and forever, unless you abdicate the throne. Well, I don't want to abdicate my throne for anybody. We talked to another person yesterday who claimed that he was the North American Snow King. And he said that he was appointed the role in 2015 by Mother God. Mother God said to me is that I did not appoint a replacement at all. Neither did you. However, there can be more than one because your title is an honorific title. And yet you always remain the North American winter weather steward of the North American and Southwest Greenland continents. And that is forever. The title Snow Queen is an honorific and is still very precious. So, just wanted to clarify this. And then, I think it was the next TNCC had said that I'm glad that she outed her and prevented her from continuing this scam. that's what he said today. Well, first of all, it's not a scam because there was no money being offered. It's not a sham either because, again, it's just not. It doesn't meet the requirements. And it does not help when a person's emotional self-worth is so low that they can't even find a sense of happiness in their life. Now, in the last few weeks, we have talked about depression a lot on this channel, and it is a real issue. One of the things my case manager agreed with me on is this, is because it's the external factor, she said, would you agree that maybe it would be worthwhile for you to get back into psychotherapy if it is available to you? And I said, yes, I do think that would help. I do not dismiss the possibility. She also did agree with me that the use of psychotropic medications is not an end-all result to solve a problem, but it could be, if chosen, as a means to alleviate symptoms. However, it is designed to be used with the psychotherapy, not to replace it. And I told her what was said to me on my channel. She said there are so many people who have a misunderstanding of what psychotropic medication is for. It is not meant to replace psychotherapy. It has got a lot of side effects, and that you know this as well as I do. She said that if you've already tried SSRIs and it did very little significant improvement for you, it makes no sense to use something that is not going to work and is going to cost you more money out of your pocket each month in co-pays. That's going to potentially have long-term neurological effects to your brain and your nervous system. So I'm going to try to find out if I can get back onto psychotherapy. I'm going to do my best to find that out. It's also through the community service program, which they are now operating instead of the individualized service program. There is a question: is there a group that can help people to cope with external issues in their lives, to find ways to help resolve the things that are holding you back? And she said to me, as you know, because we were talking about this today, is one of the things that you yourself pointed out is that you have become isolated, and that you yourself would like to be more involved in the community at large. She said some of the comments on your channel appear to be very, very negative and could become more damaging for you than anything. Now, this is from a trained case management team which works with people with mental health issues. So, this is not something I'm blowing smoke out of my anus. This is from people who are trained in this field. Now, I still would like to know some of the questions that I keep asking myself is, with some of the people on this channel, is what is their modus operandi? In other words, why are they doing what they're doing on this channel? Some of the people are very supportive and respected. And I gave 3 examples. Ruben, people of peace, and yes, out on the wire, have been supportive for many, many times. And I have no problem with you 3. It's the other people on my channel, which are a few, and I'm not going to give names. You know who you are. That have been, took what I said yesterday without considering of why I said it, and made me feel even worse that night than I did when I said it on the way to McDonald's. And it's bad enough that when you feel a sense of hopelessness because of the external negative energies, okay, that's not when you start basically heap on the negative affirmations, if you will. Ruben says you should focus on positive affirmations, and I want to. And one of the most important positive affirmations is I'm going to make my day better for somebody. That's what I believe. That's how I got to become the North American Snow Queen in the first place. You see, after watching the movie with Bridget Fonda on Hallmark Entertainment in 2003, I began to wonder if maybe, because I do love winter, is maybe my goal as a North American Snow Queen was to actually help to clear or to make the role of the Snow Queen less of a monstrous role, and rather to show that the North Americans, or the Snow Queen, in his story, in this case, played by Bridget Fonda, could actually be a nice person. Then, upon researching it myself, in many videos I've talked about this, is that one of the things that we know from the character is that in the original Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, she was a pretty bitter woman. He created the fairy tale based on a woman he actually knew in Denmark, as far as her bitterness and her behaviors. He hated that woman with a passion, and he certainly had no problem of doing a literal assassination of this real woman, which to me was kind of cold and cruel on his part, because he could have turned the Snow Queen story into something very different. But we know that even in his other story, for example, The Little Mermaid, that our poor Ariel will have to choose between being a human being and constantly living in pain as she walks on land, as she loses her ability to be part of the sea. You'll notice that people have to choose in the stories if they're going to be one or the other. Doesn't always seem to be a very positive choice. However, so one of the things I said was I want to change the role of Snow Queen for the better. And so the first thing is I also was very much into the global warming agenda at the time, as was many people. In 2004, the Earth was getting really warm, and there was problems with that. So I had to spend some time in prayer with Divine Father and Mother God, and I said, I would like to know what is it about this movie that speaks so loudly to me. It's almost like I'm intended to take this role on, but I'm not sure exactly why. And Mother said to me in prayer, you are really meant to be a modern day interpretation of the Snow Queen, but in a way that is, as you said, not to be negative and not to be mean, not to be wanting to abduct children, not to want to live in a castle of hard ice and have polar bears as servants and everything, but rather to be a person who really can show that you can still be a Snow Queen and still be a nice person. And I said, well, one of the things is I want to help people. I said at the time the world was getting to be a real mess. The world was getting really hot. And I said, I want to help the world. I want to help people. I want to help the polar bears. I want to do great things. And she says, and you will. So I began the process of training meteorology studies for weather manipulation and everything, and I did pretty good. And even though I was really, really, really not an adept, far from an adept, I was just basically barely making it. But I was doing things, even if they were really, really just fly-on-the-wall talents. It really wasn't anything major. Okay. Like my friend Angelus Criosesa said to me, is you have the ability, in hard work and dedication, to be a very, very powerful person. Powerful because you because of your knowledge and because of what you know. With practice, you can improve your abilities of sorcery. But at this point, you don't really have the talent. So I worked hard on it for many years. And for several years, I was doing great. Me and Little Me got together and started working together in 2010. That's when I actually started actively in my magic studies. And we were doing wonderful. And then we got married on May 1st of 2011. And at least I started to see that the weather was already starting to change at that time. I started to notice that I had just a little bit of skill, but I didn't have a lot. But still, hey, I'll take what little I got, okay? Even if it wasn't much. But one of the worst things about being a weather sorceress overall is that you have to feel good about yourself. If you feel like crap, you're not going to want to do your job, period. And that's exactly what happened in 2015. Actually, 2014 actually started when Ed decided that he wanted to go to Florida that one time. And when he was in Florida, one of the most important friends I had is now gone. Okay? He was no longer near me. I was living here by myself. And while the porch was being rebuilt, I was told by Section 8 that I would no longer be on the Section 8 program and that I would have to pay full rent. And then once the apartment was passed and re-inspected again, that my voucher would be reinstated. Well, in 2015, in November, September was the first meeting of the Section 8 inspector. My landlord was under a lot of stress. He basically blew up at the guy. He snapped at him. He said a lot of nasty things. And that's when he basically got him off the program. They kicked him off the program because he was getting abusive to the inspectors. They came back and they inspected my apartment the second time. The younger inspector that came was really, really bristling with animosity. I mean, this guy was just dripping with animosity. It was like he didn't want to work with me at all. He did not want to work with my landlord. He really, because the landlord already upset him really, really bad. So he said, I'm not going to pass you because I can't stand your landlord. So that is when I lost my voucher. And when I lost my voucher, I already was under a lot of stress because we were under a time crunch. We had to get the Section 8 voucher ready for renewal before the end of October. And I was able to get an extension of it for a while, but it was coming closer and closer to the deadline. And so when I finally got the porch done before the deadline by the hair of her chinny chin chin, well, then, like I said, my landlord's prior involvement with Section 8 that year was too much. And they just said, sorry, you yourself can keep your voucher, but you have to move. I still didn't have any way to realistically move, so I ended up basically having to stay here and pay full $700 a month rent. I know that in Connecticut, for a single-bedroom apartment with heat and hot water included, $700 a month isn't really too bad. But, you know, I was only making $1,264 at the time per month. I had a lot of things I had. I had a satellite dish, which I canceled a few months before that because of the fact that I knew that I wasn't going to be here to physically watch the TV. And I had hoped so much that I was going to be able to get my satellite dish back on in January of 2016. Well, that didn't happen. And so the excessive fact is now I had all these bills to pay, and I was only left with about $60 left in my name. I was just pushing my psyche to a crushing level where I just did not feel I could do the job anymore. So I stopped doing my studies. I stopped doing my workings. And I had been coasting as far as my workings for those years. And I really, really felt guilty. And I still makes me feel good, but I really wanted to clear the air of why I said what I said. It's not like it wasn't true. It doesn't mean that I'm not a good person. I'm technically the North American Snow Queen. Right now, Mother of God understands that I need to recover my spirit. And that's where you guys on YouTube can be a real asset in a good way. If you guys think of all the videos I've done and all the emotions and all the people I have helped. I help at the soup kitchen. I volunteer at the soup kitchen. I help do fundraisers for the soup kitchen. If you notice, a lot of my videos during the times when the soup kitchen has really been struggling, I have been the one putting out the word. And the soup kitchen has received donations from people so that they could keep running the soup kitchen. And that makes me a very important part as an advocate for the soup kitchen. And of course, I also help watch the morning pastries and coffee to make sure that there's morning pastries and coffee out. Because sometimes the other volunteers kind of forget to check those things. And I happen to be sitting near the table where that is, so I can watch it. And yeah, I eat them too, but that's another story. Okay, I'm not going to get to that. Anyway, so as far as the person that claimed himself to be the Snow King, since it is technically an honorific, I don't have a problem with that. I would be more than willing to subdivide the territory. Originally, for example, I gave Texas to the Central American and South American weather steward because of the fact that Texas is a very warm area and it was part of Mexico. And it was easier to let the Central and South American weather steward do the area of Texas along with Mexico. And that's what happened. So if you want to subdivide the United States into a smaller territory, I'd be more than willing to do that. But I just wish that so many people, instead of being so outright angry yesterday, had thought of what I was trying to say, instead of making me feel worse, is to realize that since I am facing external negative energy flow, it's really been hard. And there's a lot more to this negative energy flow too. Even if you don't read the news, you can feel it in the air. And if you happen to be very sensitive in the energy levels, and you feel this negative energy, even without seeing the news, without even hearing the news, without even, it's bad enough. Well, now when you're trying to cover the news and hear all this horrible stuff about this stabbing, this cop killer, Antifa, and all this other stuff, and you already feel horrible emotionally because of the external negative energies, it really pounds on you. And so for the last few weeks, I have not been covering the news that much for reasons of that alone. I just can't bear it. I just can't bear to cover the news anymore. I just really can't do it. I'm going to continue to do my live streams, obviously. I'm going to continue to reach out to people. I think, to answer the questions, is the idea of taking drugs going to solve the problem? No. I'm going to post a link to the Dr. Peter Bregan's video on the use of dangerous and psychotropic medications, antidepressants, on this, so you can actually watch it yourself. And I want you to realize that if it's an external factor that's pushing you to this negative feeling, that you got to find a way to improve one's own shielding and learning how to adapt to the situations. I'm talking about energies that are not from anything I have done or anything that is a personal thing, okay? We're talking about energies that are coming in from other things. Okay, so I guess that's about. I guess I can say. And I'm sorry if you guys think the way you do, and I understand why. But just have a little empathy, guys, because it's just something I am going to have to work through. I'm going to have to improve my shielding ability. I'm going to have to work on dealing with my own personal external issues, like I mentioned with the landlord, Section 8, and all of that, and money. I'm going to have to work on those too. And that's going to take a while. But the most important thing you can do is similar to what Ruben said about positive affirmations, is you don't solve a problem by making a person who's already suffering feel worse. It's not going to help that person. It's because those people are the ones that are coming to you and saying is, I need help. You don't throw them an anvil when they're asking you for a life preserver. It really doesn't work out that well. So, if anybody has any questions of this video, I would appreciate you could ask me the questions. So, to recap, I am still indeed a North American Snow Queen. It is understood that I need to take it easy on the work for a while. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do nothing. I mean, that's the biggest mistake I ever did. It was the fact that I kind of dropped everything, and that was a mistake. I should have been keeping up with the work. We have so many things that we need weather-wise to keep an eye on. For example, we may potentially have another nor'easter coming in Monday or Tuesday of next week. And it's getting to the point where I'm thinking is I'm going to have to kind of do some workings to try to begin the balance of balancing out the weather. But part of me says I don't want to. But part of me says, yeah, but if you don't and we have enough crop failures, you're going to lose out because then you're going to be hungry like the rest of the people. But when we realize that what's going on is a large problem, that even if every single winter weather steward was on the ball, all working together between the North and South Hemisphere, that it would be very difficult to make the changes because it's the sun that big heat source in the sky, that is where the problem is. They say that within the next few years, the solar energy from the sun will drop by 7%. Now, that's a lot of drop because it means that the amount of energy per square meter is going to drop quite a bit. And that's going to affect everything from infrared energy output to light output, which is going to affect the crops in more than one way. It also is going to affect the production of solar energy from hot water solar collectors to photovoltaics as well. So that's a problem. But since it's caused by the sun itself, it's not caused by snow queens and snow kings or weather stewards. We can't stop that. See, we were kind of like a grid. In other words, we try to keep the weather in our regions good and within balance. But if the whole system is out of balance, it's going to take almost impossible to fix the problem because it's a global problem. So, I guess that's about it. If you have any questions, please do comment in the comment section below. And, of course, do check out the video by Dr. Peter Bregan, MD. I'm going to post the link to that on this video as well. So, and then you can check it out yourself. And you can make your own educated assumptions. I have been checking out a few other videos on the School of Life, which I posted the links to on the 2018 playlist. Please do watch those videos. It may not exactly be about this topic, but it may help you to understand some of the things that's going on in my heart, in my head right now. Okay? And let me need to get a video in sometime. I gotta get a video on sometime. So we do one right after this one? Yeah, we can go yours in too. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.